UGA, UGA, that's that underground Athens. That's that underground. It's a long way up, it's a long way down. Sometimes you get to past the ones you see on the way back down. It's a long way up, it's a long way down. You got to learn to love yourself before someone else. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Say it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Even if I lived in Cali, I'm a Bulldog.
And that ain't no just Google real quick. That's like that takes some research where you like, because there's some grants out there. The local ones is easy to find. You know, like what's the one? This one was Creature Comforts. This one I got from the Wilson Center on UGA campus. So the local grants aren't that hard to find, but you know, I know that I talked to this lady about a month ago. She said there's this Georgia musician grant, and they'll help you put out your project. And I think they're giving up to like $5,000. So.
Georgia musician.
Georgia musician.
Grant.
I think, but it's a website where they deal with all the Georgia musician stuff, right? And they give out grants yearly. Like they give out grants all the time. Yeah.
That's interesting.
They give out grants all the time.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard about that.
And so I talked to these politicians about, I guess that was about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. They came to Athens because they basically wanted to hear what is local musician. They wanted to hit. They went here, Macon, and I think Augusta. They came here to see like what do y'all need. So they like it was a panel. Like I basically had a little presentation, told them okay, come from the ground up. This is what most artists need. Boom, boom. Like they need money, they need support. Like you know. So because what they're trying to do is they want to make the Georgia music scene like how they have the movie shit now, you know, when like you get all these like tax refunds and all this shit where people want to come to Georgia to like film their movie now, but they want to try to do it where people come and like you want to set your radio stuff up here, you want to do your podcast here, you want to do whatever it is because you gonna get a tax break. They gonna start giving out tax breaks for the music shit now. You know what I'm saying? So just like that, you get a major tax break for. That's why a lot of the movies be coming here, because you get major tax breaks by filming a movie in Georgia now.
Yeah, they call it Hollywood of the South now.
Yeah, this is the new Hollywood. That's right.
The new Great Migration.
That's right. But what they trying to do, and I'm just kind of getting into it, is they trying to do the same thing with tax breaks with the musicians. So you can have all these major labels, but we want y'all to have a home base here too. Y'all have a studio here too, because y'all can get these tax breaks, you know. And don't get me wrong, there are some that's here, but I'm talking about they trying to attract them big boys. They trying to attract them big boys from LA to like have a southern base here or something, you know. And with like how fucking with me, they also wanna like that underbelly. They wanna make sure they're getting the underground fed. Yeah, also. The underground fed, because then it just, you know, it just builds up a bigger base. And now it's like when you talk about music, you talk about Georgia. And it's like I told them, I don't want it to be when you talk about me, you talk about Georgia, all you think about is Atlanta. Because right now, nationally, Atlanta got it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want it to be like when you think of Georgia music, it's just Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other scenes and things going on, from Savannah to, you know, Albany, Macon. Like there's some people doing some good stuff, man. It's some good music coming out of Georgia right now. Like some underground. And whatever your flavor is, it ain't just all trap. It ain't just all like grimy shit. Like you get like some nerdcore, you get like some hardcore hit, like Ish, you might get, you know, some young shit. You getting everything, you know what I mean? Like that's the key to not just put us in this one lane where it's just Atlanta and it's just trap and it's just them young boys. Like there's more music going on than that. Like stop, y'all stop trying to put us in this little pigeonhole. Like stop.
Y'all hear that?
Stop.
Take us out that box.
Stop. Take us out that box.
Completely
in fact,
different.
we can't even fit in the box. I don't know why y'all keep trying to.
Yeah, we're not those crowds.
You cannot.
What box? Yeah, I mean,
Exactly. What box?
Sky's the
Goddamn
limit.
right. You just said it, though. What box?
hey, I'd like to thank y'all joining me today, choosing to watch this episode with Mr. White. First of all, I want to do like always, want to give my shout outs. Shout out to Jessica Brooks, Eugene Willis. Thank y'all. I also want to give a shout out to the Barbershop Shack. Hit me today a little bit. This ain't what you know. Yeah, I know. You're not used to it, but I know. I got one done. You welcome. I might get haircuts more often. Okay? Barbershop Shack. Also, Carlo, shout out. Thank you. Keep up the good work, young man. I see you. But today's episode, we're gonna run with some things and then we're probably gonna bring it back. Today I got a guest. You might know him, you might not know him. But I'm gonna let him tell you who he is. So who are you?
Montu. Like, that's what I go by. Some people know me. It's funny because my students now, some of them, they get mixed up because Miller's on their like work paperwork. So some of them, William Miller, but Montu. I'm Montu.
Miller.
Yeah.
Paperwork. Students.
Students.
Back that up.
Yeah.
What you mean by students? What?
I'm a teacher at Cedar Shoals High School. I teach.
Cedar Chad Walls.
Yeah, I teach.
They got windows now. Yeah. Chad Walls.
Peer leadership and ethnic studies. So I teach 2 classes on how to be a leader, and 1 class is basically called ethnic studies. But it basically teaches history from a non-white point of view. Like it's all the other groups that built America. That's my history class.
So, whoa, hold on. Other groups?
Yeah.
Built America?
That's right.
This wasn't built by white men?
Come on. Nah.
Stop playing with me, bro.
You know
This-
that. Yeah.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
The white man did not build this land alone.
Yeah. No.
They got classes on it.
Yes. At Cedar Shoals High School in Athens, Georgia. That's right.
You should want your child to understand that. Also, we're going to run that back. He just said leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Do they have a class on fellowship?
No. Well, I could argue a couple other classes basically teach you how to be a follower, but, it's leadership. That's my class.
You heard that. Leadership. Some classes may, have a little road to fellowship. That's a new word. Because there's a lot of that going on.
That's
Somebody
right.
want to be their own man. And I encourage you. No. I challenge you
Word.
with everything in me to be a leader
That's right.
and lead someone to the right place, not to gangland. Anyway, so you're a teacher.
Yep.
You teaching encouragement leadership.
Yep.
So, what's the most difficult thing it is for you while you dealing with someone's child and teaching them something positive, how to be a leader?
This is my biggest challenge.
Keeping them off the phone?
This is if I had an adversary, if there was a villain in my story, it'd be this. Yep. That's the hardest thing right there.
So would you call that a distraction?
If there's something that's bigger than distraction, it's that. It ain't even a distraction no more. It's their life. It is their, like, they cannot function or operate without it. Like, it can't be. So what I've learned to do is incorporate it in my classroom. So I gotta give them their, what we call brain breaks. So I give them little periods where they can go ahead and get on their phone. But they know when they're in my class, the one thing that I ask, if I'm giving instruction, you're not on your phone. Like, if I'm over there answering the phone, or whatever I do, and you got a couple minutes to scroll, go ahead and do it. But when Mr. Montu start doing instruction, you gotta get off them phones. So I've established an atmosphere in my class where it's easier, but it's still hard. You know, because it's still there. It's still a piece of their life. Like it's like an appendage. Like it is. Like they can't not function without. You know what I'm saying? Even my straight A students, from my straight A students to the ones who's not doing too well, they cannot function without them phones.
Huh.
I'm yet to meet a student since I've been at Cedar that just ain't phone addict. Like every one of them are phone addict. They all are. Like all of them. But you talk to their parents. I text their parents swear they don't be on their phone. Oh yeah, I've sent him with the phone, but he don't be on the phone when he at school.
The thing
You better
is,
check that internet.
chances is,
Yeah, you do.
me being a parent, they probably was on their phone too, so they did not notice.
Absolutely. Where do you think they learned it from?
I might not be 100% sure, but just maybe.
That's pretty 100%. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like that's where they learned it from. Yo,
And he said phone addict.
they phone addicts. They are.
It just goes to show an addict can be anything.
That's right.
You may be looking at this person like, oh, he an addict, he on that dope, he got done shooting heroin in his veins. But guess what? It could be you. But it might be you because you might be addicted to something else.
That's right.
You might not be going to the club anymore, but you might be replacing it for something else.
Might be gaming too much. Might be on Netflix too much. Might be
church.
food. Might be church. Might be you could Like you can OD on anything, man.
You can OD on anything.
Even water, you'll drown.
That part.
What he said. You fall in the water, in the ocean, and you start to sink, and you start taking all that water in. Man, Aquaman gonna live, you know what I'm saying? Well, who gonna save you? I encourage you, give yourself a little space. Maybe 20 minutes, just away from whatever is distracting you, that's taking too much of your time.
They say everything in moderation. Yeah.
Drink in moderation. They're trying to tell you don't drink the whole bottle and got done in 30 minutes. You probably be sloppy. But a lot of different things have deeper meaning in it, and you can apply it to your life.
Mhm.
I encourage you not just to crack the seal, but to apply some of those things in your life, like in moderation. But my mind tell me, shoot, I can't just eat just one. It might be true, because some of them lady potatoes be tasting good sometimes. Eat one, I'm like, shit, I'm just gonna eat one, you know what I'm saying? Let me get one more. Pringles like that, let me eat one Pringle.
Next thing you know, the bag gone.
Man, stop it. Different things you can get addicted to. So, sometimes we are not better than the next person. Then we always, pretend to be. I got my shit going on today, man. You ain't doing nothing. You broke. I got more money than you. Because you doing crack. Hey, my name is Mr. White, but my first name is Danny. It means God judges. Stop judging your brother and your sister. Love them in spite of. Give them just a little help. They might not want your information. Just drop it on them. Just a little nugget of encouragement. And you can keep it moving. I encourage you. I challenge you. Let some of that, stinking thinking go. Growing up, he dealing with kids, and this phone gonna put this in my head, it's gonna put this in my head, it's gonna put that in my head. And basically all on the phone is nothing good these days. Another black man dead here, another black man dead there. Then, white America want us just to be skinny. We don't need no big bone. Or they want you to be gay. It's one or the other. That's all you see on the phone. Stop programming yourself to do the same thing and be comfortable, living in complacency. Children, I know you see what's going on. And I often think, when my child become my age, how much rent gonna be?
Mm.
How many jobs will he have to have?
Mm.
How much will they be paying?
Mm.
So as what he's trying to teach, and what's your main thing that you teach to them to become a leader? Like, what's the main idea that you put in their head? Because I want you to be a leader and not a follower.
Preparation.
Preparation.
Yeah, I teach them a lot of my lessons are on preparation and just being ready. You know, like I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparation. So just being ready. And we go through all kinds of different units. Like we have a confidence unit. We have a unit on failure. We have a unit on communication. By the time you finish that class, and the end of it is my final is what's called a passion project. So each student picks a passion and kind of presents it. Well, first of all, they research it and then they present it in a way. Like this semester, I got someone doing one on cosmetology, somebody doing one on food waste, mental health and music. Other girls doing podcasts. So whatever their passion is, that is their final, and I want them to not just research it, but present it so that it's basically I'm teaching them kind of how to create their elevator speeches. So by the time they leave my class, whatever it is that they want to do, whether it be acting, being an influencer on YouTube, or a cosmetologist, or a doctor, or a nurse, by the time they leave my class, they'll have some understanding of A, what it is, and B, how to actually get there. You know.
You heard that? I keep on trying to beat this in y'all head, but y'all ain't listening to me. I know sometimes I be off the wall sometimes, and you might miss me. I be going some places. But what you love. Love yourself first.
That's right.
And find your passion.
Oh, and what's even doper about that is to bounce off what you just said. The first 3 weeks of my class is an identity unit. So basically, my class starts with them learning themselves. They research their culture. They interview elders from their family. They do what's called a mind map, where they map out like what's actually in their mind. And by the end of that unit, I'm hoping that they kind of got a grasp of themselves. And then we go through the confidence and the communication and the failure and all this. And then by the end, they're presenting these passion projects. So when they leave my class, you know, they usually prepared for some things, you know, because I got students that used to take my class that are like building leaders now. They're like the head of the SGA and doing stuff in the theater department and doing this. So when you leave my class, my students are known. Like you could tell, like, yo, even how you talk to them, because like they ain't talking to you regular. They asking questions that most students wouldn't ask, because I didn't already pick their brain enough to make them critically think about things. When they come, they don't necessarily be thinking critically, but by the time they leave my class, they like, well, you know, I need to ask something about, like, why do we do this? Like, why don't we get the funding for this? Why does Cedar look like this and Central look? Like, they start asking them real questions, you know. But and I'm shaking some trees, but the administration that brought me there, they knew what I was going to do when I came there. Like, I would even argue that now they almost sometimes be like, whoa, what did we do? You know, because, you know, the principal will get flooded with some emails from my students, and then he'll be like, yo, your students emailed me. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so my class is like, it ain't a regular class, man. It ain't a regular class. Yeah, it ain't a regular class. And then if you mess around and take both my classes, so I teach you how to be a leader in one, the other class I'm teaching you like where you at within a historical context, and like where your people did what, and then your friends' people, and like how this whole system and country was built off of other people. You know. I mean, if you make a line, the white man, as far as like being the one who actually did anything, white man way back in there. Like, he ain't built nothing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't did nothing. Like, benefit from it, but ain't actually build nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
Nothing.
But
Even now,
some of us know that, some of us don't. But
And
it's
you
my
see-
job to teach your children that. You know what I mean?
some of these construction companies owned by Caucasian, who you see working for
That's
them,
right.
that they pay good.
That's right.
But then as you trickle on down the line, they might have one look like me every now and then, but the rest of them, they pick them up at Home Depot, where they can pay them pennies on the dollar. And please, for my children that's growing up, but for y'all adults, because they get it from you, they get it from me. Talking about folk or judging folk.
Mm-hmm.
Because they talk a certain, oh, that person is talking white. Why they just can't sound educated, or why they can't be the way they talk. Everybody don't have to talk like you. Everybody don't have to look. What if everybody did talk and look like you? Do you imagine a whole world full of yous? I can't imagine a room full of me. I wouldn't be happy.
Because there'd be no diversity. It wouldn't be no, you know, like, ideas come from so many different places, you know what I mean? Like, ideas come from places you wouldn't even imagine. So, like, if you just got one train of thought, you got one brain, you know, like, it's 4 brains in here now. Like, you know, what I can do great, like, they might can do okay, but what he can do great, I can only do okay. But if we put all that greatness together, like, the diversity in our minds, like, there really ain't nothing that can stop us. And the only thing I argue, and, you know, I get into conversations with people all the time, like, I ain't gonna say the only thing, but one of the major obstacles in front of us has always been ourself. Like, it's always been, we've been our worst enemy. Like, we could talk about systems, we can talk about other stuff. I can go in deep, whatever angle you want to go down. But one of the major obstacles that's, like, faced us in these decades after decades after decades of just being underprivileged has been, we've been our own enemy. We've been our own adversary. You know?
Self.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Then self.
The elephant in the room, man.
But go back to a couple of things you was talking about too.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with self. And then you start to, you know what I'm saying, do the inventory on self. You need to begin to write on that paper what is your passion and what you need to do to, you know, those things. But what's inside your head? How many of you can, like, actually, you know, be honest and put that on paper? And be like, shoot, I did start a fight because I didn't like that person's color when I was younger. It still deals with me today. I kept it on the hush. Everybody got in trouble except me. He thought I was helping him. But at the beginning of the day, I was racist. How many of you still racist? Keep it to yourself. Anyway, but who gonna be honest and get down to the nitty gritty and actually put what they thinking or what they have gone through or commit with your mouth and say what you have done? It's okay. I know you think you might be ashamed, but it's only going to start somewhere when you begin to look in the mirror.
Absolutely.
You can point that finger and justify for whatever you want to do, but it's only going to start when you look in the mirror. Same with the black lives, black lives. But it's only going to start when we begin to look in the mirror, because we keep killing each other ourselves while they continue to kill us. You keep looking the other way and not saying nothing to your brother. Don't argue about that nonsense. Give each other a hug. You're not gay because you give each other a hug. Maybe you hug a little too long, but hey, Be who you want. Don't be ashamed. Anyway, we're going to move right along. Here, Montus, first thing you see. First thing you see, what do you see? Before you notice anything. Before you notice anything. What do you see? Did you notice anything? Right the black for F-fall. Right the black for F-fall.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, let me stop.
Revolutionary but gangster. You already know that.
First time I met this man, he might not even remember. I might not even
remember.
First time I met him was, I think it was 2000, maybe 2001. Me and Eugene, Brian Johnson, I think a couple more cats, we went to a house party right across the street from Gaines School Elementary in those little duplexes over there. I think that weekend they was having a goddamn pajama jam at goddamn Take Center. But I think that was actually my first real live house party that I went to that, you know, I wanted to go to. I've been some places where I'm ready to go, bro. But that was the first time I met him. I was like, shoot, I was a young whippersnapper then, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a young whippersnapper, okay? Don't get that twisted.
Yeah, but that was about 20 years ago. 20 years ain't no.
But hey.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't young no more. We might be whippersnapping, but we ain't young no more.
I deal with people
Yeah.
that don't change. Now let's get this right. I encourage you to change. Because don't nothing change, nothing changes. But as in the person and the spirit, when you meet someone, when you talk to someone, or how they may behave. This young guy, since the first time I met him, he always been the same. So that's one thing I always noticed about him, and I always looked up to him about when I see him.
Respect.
Same old guy. He ain't trying to do more than he can. He doing just what he can do. If he can do more, he do more. None of that extra on it. When I see him, he give me him. When I see him talk to others, he give them him, the same person.
Word.
So, talk about this. What is this? No, first, this say Classic City, Volume 2. So what is this?
So
first?
a couple of years ago, we put out a project was Classic City Volume 1. And what I did was I wanted to get kind of the best of the best in Athens hip hop and put them on a record. And then we got a grant to put it out, and I wanted, because I feel like I want to be a part of like what's normally going on, but I always want to kind of do something different. So wasn't no rappers really in Athens putting out vinyl or even thinking about it. And this, half the people who get this don't even have a record player. So this is about more than just the music that's on there, but that's a piece of it. This is sort of like a timestamp. This is like something you put in your archive, like you can hang up. This is something. It's an object. So I want y'all. It'll always be around. I want people to know that, like, when as these volumes come out, putting on these people that are in Athens hip hop, like these people kind of help build this scene. So, you know, and then from there we got some money from UGA Wilson Center to put this out. And that's the concept album I've had in my mind for like 10 years, but I finally was able to put it out. So each song is based off of a different trailblazer. You know, like each song one's based off Fred Hampton. We got a Ralph Ellison song. We got a Fannie Lou Hamer song. It's like each song is dedicated to a different trailblazer. So, and now is the time. People always say shouting fire is one thing. It's freedom of speech, except for there's one thing you can't do. This is what they always say. You can't shout fire in a burning theater. You know what I'm saying? Or burning place, right? So to me, the world is on fire, and like we gotta shout fire right now. Like I don't care if it's against the rules or not. Like we gotta shout fire wherever we at, because the world is literally on fire right now, and now is the time. So that's kind of where that came from. And a bunch of great artists helped me put all this together. You know, like I'm nothing but the curator. Like I'm the the last of the line who actually matter in these projects. I just help push them, and I know they have people putting out some beautiful music. They're rapping the way they rap, and I the one thing that I've always appreciated is I'm in love with rappers, because like I can't do it, but like I've always been intrigued. That's kind of always been my thing. Like rappers are like they're our griots. You know, because I was trained in African American studies, so I learned about griots in Africa. It's like basically a griot is a part of the community. It would be like our rapper, but I'll put it this way: the griot is is families of people that basically are trained to know the history of the tribe and know the things that's going on. So they come and entertain you, and they'll have like historical stuff. They'll talk about like just got ate up by a lion a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So you can like basically it was like our news. It was like so to me, rappers nowadays are modern day griots because they're talking about the streets, they're talking about education, they're talking about the system, they're talking about politics, talking about horror movies, they're talking about clubbing, they're talking about girls, they're talking about literally everything in our life that, you know, is basically put out in the form of a rhyme. And it's rappers to me are like beautiful people because they can actually like they put out this form of art that's like that actually matters, you know. It does. Even when it doesn't, like people might say, you know, like some of the young folks' music, oh, they just talking about drugs and gang banging and whatnot. They are, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily a positive thing, but at the same time, like it's reality. Like they ain't rapping. They didn't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? They didn't make it up. We've been rapping. It was like Ice Cube back in the day. We've been rapping about getting beat by the police since rapping existed. But now that we have phones and people can see it, they're like, this is just now going on. Nah, man, like we've been talking about this back in the blaxploitation films. Like even before that, like we've been talking about this. But I say all to say is like rap. Anything I can do to help out hip hop, my culture, and rappers is like one of the highlights of that I've always highlighted to push. I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna do. Like I have to do it. I feel like it's in my DNA. Like it's my culture. Like I literally have the culture in my blood. So everything I do is hip hop, from my classroom to the music I put out to the conversations to how I raise my kids. It's all hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So
don't give up. Whatever you heard it from him yourself. So if you feel like giving up and you don't want to, you know, put anything on paper, or you think that you suck because you're stinking thinking think that you need this person to validate. Believe in yourself.
that's right.
Believe in yourself and keep doing what you're doing.
That's right.
Please. Don't be afraid. Fear is for no man. Understand that.
Understand your fear. You know
Where it come from.
That's right.
Because when you have it, it come from a place. Dig. Get to the root of the problem.
That's right.
But first, you need to know and understand that you need to admit that you have a problem at some sort. So if they need you and they need that help that you was talking about, tell them how they can get with you.
AthFactorMedia@gmail.com.
Say what?
AthFactor, that's ATHFACTOR media@gmail.com.
Me and my tools, we out of here. Peace. We love y'all.
Mr. White, you're closing.
It's my two.
What did he say?
You're closing, Mr. White.
I'm closing. What he just said. Mr. White. That was my close. But hey, we're just gonna add it on. Don't cut none of it. We're gonna leave it just like it is.
Oh, you don't cut nothing. You go raw.
Why you think I got them babies? Hey, I encourage you.
UGA, that's that underground Athens. That's that underground. It's a long way up. It's a long way down. Sometimes you get to past the ones you see on the way back down. It's a long way up. It's a long way down. You got to learn to love yourself before someone else. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Say it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Mr. White.
I lived in Cali.
It's how I'm living.